I love hidey hole food plots. All you need are hand tools today, torch, lighter, and our broadcast seeder. Let's go make a hidey hole. Well, this is step 2 of our hidey hole food plot here. This is a brand new hidey hole on the Proving Grounds 2. Make sure you check out the video we released just a few weeks ago about how we prepped this, found it, why we put this location here, how we hung the stand and all that. Today, it's about getting ready to plant because rain is on the way. You look out here and you notice all the vegetation is dry, and that's because we came in with a backpack sprayer and we used 2% glyphosate and we sprayed it and terminated it, and we waited until the conditions are right. We've been in a wicked drought. It's had time to dry up, and you'll notice there's not much more green out there. You may be asking why we're burning it, and the reason we're using prescribed fire to take away the grass and the duff is to ensure that seed gets good contact with the soil. Right now, all this grass is kind of created a duff layer, and if I was just to go and broadcast right now, some of that seed's not going to get to the soil. We want a really good stand of our hidey hole broadcast blend in here, and it has to have seed to soil contact. So we're removing the duff. We're just going to broadcast right into that, and then we're going to have rain on top. It's really important to time the hidey hole plantings with good rain. We say 1/2 inch or more, and you want to get as close to that rain as you can. We've got rain coming tonight, so we're burning and planting today. If we waited, or if we saw rain coming and we decided to do this a couple days ago, well, we've been hot and dry, and that seed's just going to lay on top of the soil, and it could be consumed by turkeys or crows, squirrels, mice, other critters. But that seed's just laying on top of that soil, and it's getting really hot. And some folks got excited and they planted a little early this year, and we were in a big drought, and that seed just sat on top of the soil and baked. It's a living seed. Remember that. If it gets hot, it dies. So rain is key when it comes to broadcasting. You have to be close to that rain, even if you were drilling. You know, if you're using the release process and a no-till drill, you can drill several days before rain. Well, you're getting that seed, great soil contact, but you may have a mulch layer or some stuff to help hold some moisture and keep that soil a little cooler to help protect that seed a few more days. But when it's laying right on top, it gets hot and it can bake. Using prescribed fire, we came in, we just weed-eated a line, just a little fire break all the way around this hidey hole, sprayed, and you can tell our line greened up, and we actually have humidity. It's like 50% humidity today. The dry stuff is burning really well, and the stuff that's green that grew up back in our line isn't burning at all. So just backing this fire through, getting a nice under control fire moving through, consuming the duff and vegetation, and once we back it all the way through, it'll be time to broadcast. Now, you don't have to use prescribed fire to remove the duff. You could use a backpack blower. Maybe you're in the timber and it's leaf litter and you don't want to use prescribed fire. You just get a backpack blower and just blow all those leaves away, and that exposes the soil. Get it out, moving it back into the timber. Make yourself, 20, 30 yard circle, and now you've got soil exposed, and you're gonna have great seed to soil contact. So it could be fire, it could be a backpack blower. Sometimes you may want to just use a weed eater. And if we use a weed eater, a lot of times what we do is we broadcast and we let that seed kind of get in between, and then we'll take a weed eater and we'll go down real low to the ground to almost lay that vegetation over on top to kind of almost create a mulch layer to help hold some moisture in there. But fire is definitely one of the easiest ones, less intensive tools that we can use. We just drop a match and let it go, and here 5 minutes later it's exposed. I don't have to be blowing leaves or raking leaves. You could use a rake. That's another tool. The great thing about these hidey hole food plots is you use hand tools. These are, way back here in the sticks. These are those limited resources, in big timber country like we're hunting here at the Proving Grounds. Well, it's just timber. We have a little green plot here in the middle of the timber. This is the limited resource when it comes to, you know, attractive vegetation, attractive forage. This is the limited resource. It doesn't take much. This plot, it's only 20, 30 yards wide. And ideally, those little hidey hole plots are just big enough. We get a lot of questions about this. How big are the hidey holes? They're just big enough that if there's a deer in that hidey hole, it should be within your range. So Grant and I don't shoot whitetails over 30 yards. So from our tree stand location right here to the edge of this hidey hole is right at 30 yards. Anything in this hidey hole, well, it's standing venison for Grant or I. That fire moved quickly through here on that dried vegetation, but look at that. It's just, all that vegetation is just ash now. But right now, we can very easily see the soil. And you do that, it just packs, and it's soil just right here. Tonight, when that rain hits, all this ash is just gonna lay down, and raindrops actually are good for our seed because our seed's gonna be laying on the soil. And when that raindrop hits, it actually splashes soil. And with our very small seed in these fall blends, those smaller seeds, well, that soil that's splashing from a raindrop, that's all that seed needs to just be covered. It's got moisture. It's a great environment for that seed to germinate. So now we've prepared our seed bed, if you will. It's time to plant.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fort Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
Broadcasting Green Cover Seeds Hidey Hole broadcast blend, and you can see there's a lot of different species in here. Some cereal grains, some brassicas, some smaller stuff. And the whole goal of the Hidey Hole broadcast blend is to take browse pressure. You know, we don't have to have this hidey hole knee-high, lush, and awesome. If it does that, that's great. But remember, this is just a limited resource in the timber. This is going to be where deer want to feed when they're seeking that attractive forage. So in the past, some fall blends can get browsed to the ground and they only last a few weeks out of the hunting season. This is designed to take that browse pressure throughout the early, mid, and even late portions of the deer season. So we're going in, we're broadcasting, we want a really good stand in here. And when your hidey hole is being planted, it's best to go, you know, north and south and then east and west. And I like to do that multiple times. You'll notice the gate, and as seed's coming out, there's not a lot of seed coming out as I'm walking. And that's because I'm gonna go across this multiple times to make sure I get really good coverage. You know, these hidey holes are in the middle of the timber. We had to haul this in. I don't wanna waste or use all my seed on the, you know, north half of this plot and then have to go back to the tracker and get another bag of this. So I know this is the amount I need for the size of this hidey hole, and I'm gonna make it last. So it's better just slow down, take your time, and get good coverage. That's a wrap for this hidey hole. We got a few more that I gotta go plant before the rain comes. You know, when that rain's coming, it's time to hustle, time to get to work, but deer season opens here pretty soon. This little hidey hole is a nice little attractive limited resource in the timber. It's all about limited resources when it comes to getting deer within range. And in the past video where we shared the steps for prepping this plot and hanging the stand, we shared that the whole design around this food plot was limited resources. Forage, which this is going to be a limited resource when it starts growing, a great food attraction. But we also have a pond right behind us. So this food paired with the pond during drought conditions, or if it gets dry again, that pond and food, we've got two limited resources here that we can hunt over, all within bow range. In fact, we've got a Moultrie Mobile overlooking this pond, and there's been multiple deer coming in to grab a drink. Water, food, Great limited resources, close together, and all within bow range of the stand back behind me. I can't wait for deer season to open, and hopefully Grant or I will be sharing a successful hunt with you from this hidey hole. Hidey hole food plots are just one piece of our hunting strategy here at the Proving Grounds 2. And if you want to stay up to date with the Proving Grounds 2 and our hunting strategies throughout the fall, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, and go check us out on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. I hope you're able to get outside this week, maybe start prepping a food plot or hang a stand as you prepare for deer season. But no matter what you do, make sure you slow down, listen to the Creator and the purpose He has for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer. Whew. The pack out's always a little lighter, which is nice. Got a ways to walk. Hopefully next time we're in here, we'll be dragging out a deer.